Welcome back, everyone, to a special edition of the NFC AFC Championship game of Sportsfellas.
Here we go.
All right, what we got here in the house?
It's your boy Tristan.
Hey, it's your Buckeye Believing Rock Chalk Jayhawk and Wichita State Shocking Who Day Hopeful Chris with a K.
And it's your mano y mano, 4-time champ. Eric is here in the house. Good to be back in the booth.
Man, shut it down. And you got your host, Carlos, in the house. You guys, this is so exciting. After long months of up and down, my team didn't do anything, the Denver Broncos. So we're sitting back home, sitting on the couch, and Eric's team over here is the Steelers.
We're out.
They're out. They're hanging out. Then the Packers didn't really do much. Sorry for the Eric number 2. But, hey, we have 2 teams in the house representing. We got Tristan, the Kansas City Chiefs Kingdom.
Yeah, baby.
And then we got the Who Day, Chris with the K.
Cincinnati Bengals.
Jackpot Joey.
Welcome to the jungle. Welcome
Money
to the
McPherson.
jungle. All right, so let's go ahead and we're going to dive into the AFC first. But before that, let's go ahead and give a quick pause and thank to our following sponsors.
Razor Cut Information would like to thank you, Ernie Relas, at State Farm, located at 11330 East Central, Wichita, Kansas. Please visit Ernie to talk about your home, auto, life insurance needs. As they say, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Thank you, Ernie.
All right, so Eric, well, let's go ahead and do a quick recap. So Cincinnati visited the Tennessee Titans. They were the number 1 seed. They went in, took care of business in a field goal, which is a rookie, by the way, and they are representing the AFC North going into the championship against the Nfc West Champions, the Kansas City Chiefs. After one of the best games I ever seen in my life, took on the Buffalo Bills. After much speculations, Tristan, you kept your head up. You closed all the naysayers, and you held high. And I gotta hand it to you, man. I gotta hand it to you. The Chiefs' kingdom just came through. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna break it down a little bit. So we're gonna start off with the Kansas City Chiefs. So you guys, phenomenal second half of the season going in. Tell me what got you guys to this point and why you feel that you are the suitable candidates to represent the AFC.
Oh, definitely our defense is what changed everything, man. Bringing in Melvin Ingram and moving Chris Jones back inside.
From the Steelers.
Yeah, from the Steelers. Thank you for that. Thank you. That really helped us. And I felt like, after our defense was on a roll, they had to support our offense because then our offense was struggling. But I felt like changing our defensive scheme, bringing Melvin Ingram in, and just, and having our defense, they've been phenomenal, man. Nick Bolton, one of the best rookie linebackers.
University of Missouri, shout out.
Yeah, shout out to them. But
Tigers.
He's changed everything, and of course Willie Gay's still there. He's been doing really good, and he's only on his second year. I feel like we got really good corners, and just all around, our defense has really stepped up. And yeah, like I said, that changed everything for us. And whenever our defense and our offense are both, how do I say this, working together, we look phenomenal, man. And it's great. That was a good game by the Bills. Yeah, I love to see it. That was a good game by the Bills, but, man, we came out on top. 13 seconds left. That was insane. I think the fact that we can get in field goal range in 13 seconds just says a lot about what our offense can do.
And Dak couldn't get off
one play in 13 seconds.
Spike in 14.
He did that faster than Dak was trying to get off
Madden
that spike.
awareness. That's all that was.
Yeah.
Well, Chris, what do you have to say for the Kansas City Chiefs?
They're a good team. It was a tough team to beat just about a month ago. That was a tough game there. Yeah, Eric got it.
I got it.
Yeah.
I watched that game. It was pretty intense.
No, the Chiefs look scary, man. I mean, would they put up 41 in the wild card weekend, then 42 last weekend?
Mm-hmm.
This isn't the Patrick Mahomes of earlier this season when there was Twitter calls for his head. Oh, bench Patrick Mahomes. He threw an interception last week. And that was, those early games were not his fault. A lot of that was, he did throw some picks, but the defense wasn't playing well there.
Mm-hmm.
They've come a long ways. And I think a lot of that, they had some new personnel this season, and defense takes a little bit more time to gel some of those things. It's not just, you can't just practice guarding someone at full speed. Like you can practice a quarterback throwing a route at full speed. Like, hey, run your fastest and I'll throw it to you. You can practice that a lot and get a good rhythm there. And so it takes the defense, I think, a little bit of time to gel with that. And so I think Kansas City, that's what they've really done here lately is gel. Now, they do have, I don't know if we'll see a return with Tyrann Mathieu or not. He's in concussion protocols. That's going to be a big key in their secondary, since he does have some weapons that they like to throw downfield on. So depending on where those guys go, and of course that defensive line, Chris Jones had a great game. I think
Frank Clark.
Did he have? Yeah, him too. But Jones did he have 3 sacks in the last game? Was it?
I don't know the exact number.
He had several sacks and was Josh Allen got to know him well. And as we saw for the Bengals, that's scary that against a strong lineman.
Oh, yeah.
Up the middle. So, there's some things to be aware of. I know Edwards-Helaire just kind of was getting his feet wet kind of in this last game. And McKinnon's really fit a little niche role there.
Yeah.
He might have earned himself a
He's really
coming
stepped
back
up
next year
He might
and
have.
be a backup, to Edwards-Helaire and because he's a good veteran. He's been around the league for
A little bit.
5 years
He's
probably.
part of that 49ers run.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and he played. Was it Minnesota that drafted him, and he
Yep.
went on a run or two with them as well, and
Mhm.
so yeah, that's could be damaging as well. I mean, he's coming in, and Edwards-Helaire's looking strong and probably just getting stronger as these go. So as far as the Chief goes, that's where.
For me, like Dristan said, it was a lot of defensive changes when they benched Sorensen. That was a big change because he was getting burnt like toast. He looks a lot better now coming off the bench. Obviously Ingram, big acquisition there, paying off. A lot of big linebacker acquisitions this year that paid off for a lot of people. We'll talk about the other NFC one here in a minute. I just think they started gelling. Andy Reid talked to him, said, we've been here before. Let's get it together. Probably the best minute and 54 seconds I've ever seen in football in my life.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to hit a 90s phrase here. You were scared. Chiefs fans were scared. Bills fans were scared. Nobody knew who was going to win. It came down to, in my opinion, the coin toss. If the Bills won the coin toss, they win the game.
Yeah.
The Chiefs won the coin toss. They tried to do the Matt Hasselbeck. We're going to take the ball. We're going to score. And that's what they did. Amazing game. Legendary. But I think the Chiefs are hitting on all cylinders. The coaching is there. They have the experience. It's at their house at Arrowhead. That's a hard place to win this time
That
of the
is gonna
year.
be
Yeah,
tough.
it is an Arrowhead this time.
Yes. And so if the Chiefs come out and they start fast, which is what they did against the Bills, they didn't spot the team 21 points. They came out, scored on their first drive, and stayed consistent. Didn't make any mistakes, no turnovers. They have a chance to win the game and go to the Super Bowl again.
Mm-hmm.
It's just amazing. What can I say? I mean, coming from the AFC West, Kansas City has now shown that to be the best, you got to beat the best. And we've dealt with the Indianapolis Colts through the years. We've had to deal with the New England Patriots through the years. Even in that decade, if you observe on all the Super Bowls that the AFC would go in when it wasn't New England, and you look at the AFC Championship, who did they have to cross? Predominantly New England. Now for the Bills, for maybe like the Ravens or the Chargers, all those teams are on notice. If we need the blueprint to go forward, it's going to be Kansas City, because Kansas City has just put the staple on how to win, how to go into the Super Bowl. I mean, these guys are veterans. They're going in there like, hey, you said it yourself, beautiful put, gelled. They gelled together. Great coaching staff. I have nothing but the utmost respect for Andy Reid, the way how he sees things. I mean, he comes from a great line anyway.
Right.
That goes all to the Bill Walsh years. I mean, going forward, that tree is just phenomenal. Mike Holmgreen.
And Carlos, I do want to say, for the Bills, they were so close. But I think that's going to be your divisional game for probably the next 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Divisional or conference,
Right, or conference,
however it
for
kind of
sure.
lines up.
Because both of those franchises believe in both their quarterbacks. They believe in building around them, and they've locked those guys in for a long time.
I think they believe in their coaches too.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it was great. I mean, it's okay. Let's just for a little bit with the Bills. With the Bills, they added Emmanuel Sanders. Not bad. I mean, Cole Beasley is on his second, third year
Yep.
there.
Diggs.
And Diggs was just
Diggs
a
is
great.
number one.
But here's my thing. For the Bills, and let's just touch on the Bills. And congrats on the Bills getting this far. I mean, they're the staple in the AFC East. But watch out, because New England is not. They're not gone. You know, Bill
Yeah, they're not too
Belichick.
far behind.
They're gonna get right back in it.
That was a quick rebuild.
It was.
So okay, so Dristan, if you were looking at the Bills to say, "Hey, come catch up with us, come up a couple more stairs up to be at our level," talk about the Kansas City Chiefs. What do the Bills need to do?
What do they need to do? That's tough to say because I feel like they're kind of already at our level. Like, their offense is fire. It's phenomenal. They need to get a good running back that they'll commit to
Yeah.
and establish a run game that isn't their quarterback.
That's what I was going to say. They need a more running game. That's
Mhm.
really, they
Yeah,
need a little
'cause-
more focus on it maybe.
Yeah, because they rely on Allen for their entire offense, running it, passing it, everything. And I feel like at some point that's going to be too much. Maybe not now, because I feel like he's been doing just fine with that. But if they can establish a great running game, I feel like that would help tremendously, because they don't have to rely on Allen for everything.
Definitely run game, 100%. I also think they need another marquee defensive player. If it's a corner,
Sure.
if it's another pass rusher, if it's a middle linebacker, they need another guy besides that safety.
Micah Hyde.
Yep, besides Micah Hyde to
Well, and Tre'Davious White was injured.
right.
I'll give him that.
So another defensive guy and a run game.
Now, for the Tennessee Titans, they were able to get the number 1 seed. I mean, they were dangerous going in throughout the week. Then Derrick Henry got injured. He came back. He did his part. Ryan Tannehill still committed some errors. But, Chris, when the Bengals beat the Titans, what do you think the Titans need to do to
I
be
felt
at
like-
your guys' level?
I felt like they kind of focused too much on Henry, coming off injury and just not having played for not that he was necessarily hurt or slowed down by the injury, but I mean it takes a while to get into football, and you're talking about playoff football, and coming off of not having hit anyone for a couple weeks, not
Or
having
get hit.
and I think that was more effective. I think that affected him a little bit more. Like, I think if it would have been a Derrick Henry who had been playing for the last month, I think it would have been a different game for sure.
Do you feel they have all the pieces necessary? Because there is speculation with Tannehill.
Yeah, I mean, Tannehill's not a Super Bowl MVP type quarterback. He's a game manager who is meant to throw some play actions off of Derrick Henry. And they need to really establish that run game. And his backup is the one that had he had like a 40, 45, 50-yard
Yeah,
run.
his backup was doing really good.
And that's what I mean. Like, that's where it's like, come on, you didn't give it to the hot hand. It feels like Henry, it was like, well, if Henry's in there, we know what he's going to do. They're going to give it to him. He's going to try to either run up the gut or maybe bounce it outside. But we're ready for it because we know if Henry's in, that's what they're going to do. Because he's not in the rhythm of the pass game. He hasn't been there for the last 2 months. So I think that was part of what hampered them this game. But I mean, for them to compete against regularly to the conference champions, against who we would all, I think, agree, and I think most of the sports world agree, are right now the Chiefs and the Bills are kind of the elite of the AFC. I don't think Tannehill can hang with those. Like, he wouldn't be able to score 2 touchdowns, 10 points in the last couple minutes of a game.
I definitely agree with you there. I think for the Titans, they have to. They can't be the number 1 seed. History shows they've been the number 1 seed 3 times, and they've been bit 3 times. So they can't have that bye week. They get the bye week curse, and they don't win it. Obviously, they've been to a Super Bowl before against the St. Louis Rams and didn't turn out good. But they can't be a number 1 seed. They need Derrick Henry to be healthy. That's another thing the Chiefs had on their side. Everybody was healthy.
Mm-hmm.
And this time of the year, health is everything.
Health is huge.
The last man standing. And so If you can have everybody healthy, have your run game good, have your defense good, not turn the ball over. Ryan Tannehill did that. You can win a gritty game, but Ryan Tannehill, in my opinion, is not at the level that I believe he can take a franchise with 13 seconds, with 37 seconds left down the field to get in field goal range. He's not that guy. He's still a good NFL quarterback, but he's not that guy.
Gotcha. Now we've already concluded with the Chiefs on that end. Let's go ahead and let's talk about your team, Chris, the Cincinnati
sir.
Bengals. So Cincinnati, wow, they became the winners of the AFC North. And when was the last time you won the AFC North?
That we did, I think it was 2015.
Wow, that's been a little bit. It's been a little bit. Now, here's the thing, Chris. Now, let's go ahead. Let's talk about the strengths of the Cincinnati Bengals. Go ahead and talk to us a little bit about what they're going to be bringing to the table when they go to Arrowhead.
Well, you got the franchise, Joe Burrow. I mean, he has totally re-established the organization as something that is a force. And then his rolling buddy, I would say rookie of the year, Jamar Chase, especially after that, the week 17 against 266 yards, 11 of 12 receptions, 3 touchdowns. That's dang near a year for most rookies.
Video game numbers.
Yeah.
And so you got that. T. Higgins is a force. I mean, he's a monster. He sometimes has a little drop issue. I don't know what his deal is with that, but he's a beast, man. He's like, I think 6'2", 6'3", somewhere in there. And I mean, he can fly and just strong. He had that, it was against the Chiefs. Sorry, Tristan, that he had that big catch. That was, I don't know, maybe suspect. He may not have gotten the catch if it was at the Chiefs. So there's some good receivers. Joe Mixon. Problem, the line is okay run blocking and just, man, pass blocking. They have to have help. I really hope they move the pocket a little bit more for Joe this time, get him outside. He was top of the league this year in yards outside of the pocket, over 1,000 yards outside of the pocket, throwing outside of the box. So hopefully they can do some schematic stuff to help protect him. We're on, I think, the main right tackle was a third, fourth string guy. Second, third, probably third stringer on the right. The right side of the line's pretty banged up. So, and Hopkins was not doing well in the center.
So I'll jump in now for you, Chris.
Yeah.
If you are the Bengals GM after the ACL injury, your job is to take all the picks that you have and you find the best offensive lineman you can.
Yeah, sort of like the Chiefs.
If you don't do that, you're fired.
Yeah, that's going to be next year's.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is where, I mean, like they say, this rebuild kind of came, this whole, where we're at now with the Bengals is a little bit early. Like, there was most people would have said, you have a chance of making a wild card, maybe playoff run. But to win the division and then make it to the conference championship, this is way ahead of, I would say, ahead of schedule for the Zach Taylor rebuild. And so that's one of the things that we're lacking, definitely, is the line. Like, that's going to be probably first 3 picks of the next draft are going to be linemen of some sort, center, guard, tackle, somewhere in there.
You would have thought after his ACL they would have done that, but then they went out and got his guy, and
Which-
clearly it's paid off.
Yeah, it's paid dividends.
I mean, you look at the other main draft pick they were looking at, Penei Sewell, and I think he finished for the Lions on injured reserve.
Mhm.
And
But he also
wasn't-
sat his last year.
Yeah, and
at
he wasn't
Oregon.
doing well before that. So,
Mhm.
but Jamar Chase had his
Great-
year of
great-
college,
great
and
year.
man, he call me impressed. But what's really impressed me this year, Burrow is a great quarterback. He was in college and was doing very well before he got hurt last year. Jamar Chase was fantastic in college, Biletnikoff Award winner his
Yep.
sophomore year, and then sat his junior year because of COVID before coming out. And but the defense this year, the defense is what's won us really the last two get these playoff games. I mean, they say defense wins championship. Interception for Carr on the last play of the wild card game, 3 interceptions for Tannehill, one being the one that really led to the winning field goal.
Mhm.
So the defense has really impressed me, even with the injuries, some of the injuries they've had recently.
Something else I will say too: if the Bengals have a chance to compete and beat the Chiefs, Joe Burrow's going to have to throw a touchdown pass.
Yes.
He's
yes.
going to have to throw some touchdown passes.
And I mean, this is going to be a different defense, I think. So I think hopefully, I sure hope they can block somebody. I know the kid's young, but man, he's still sore.
Yeah.
So what do you think? What do you think, Driston? What do you see that they could give you guys a little hard time? If you could give any props for the Bengals, what would it be?
Definitely Jamar Chase in their passing game with Joe Burrow. I mean, that's what gave us a hard time last game, clearly. Jamar Chase is phenomenal. If anything, we're going to have to at least put 2 people on him, make sure he's covered, because we can't allow the same thing to happen again. Speaking about that offensive line, we've got to, play on that. I don't know, send the blitz a lot. Get to Joe Burrow, because y'all's offensive line sucks, and and that's what we need to capitalize on is a bad offensive line, because we got Frank Clark, Chris Jones, Melvin Ingram. There's no reason we shouldn't be getting to him, and if we can capitalize, if we can get 9 sacks in the game, we should win. The fact that you guys won.
Well, yeah, I mean, we only scored 19 points. You're not going to win against Kansas City scoring 19 points.
No.
Yeah. So, we gotta, of course, play on that bad offensive line and do something about Jamar Chase. And granted, even if we do, I don't think we'll shut out Jamar Chase. But I mean, if we make him have a bad game, he still got 2 other receivers in Tyler Boyd and T. Higgins, and they're still great. So,
well. Kansas City's 20-3 when Patrick Mahomes, or when they have 0 turnovers.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
One of those 3 losses was to Cincinnati just a couple weeks ago. So
Right.
Yeah.
0 turnovers. But
I could see put a little salt in the wound and the cut. Small cut.
Yeah.
A little salt there.
Just a little
Here's
bit.
the thing with Cincinnati, and to wrap this up with Cincinnati is young.
Very young.
They're
yes.
young. I would
Head
not be
coach
discouraged.
included. Head coach
So
included.
look at it like
38.
this for all the Bengal fans out there. Don't be discouraged if you guys lose. Look at it like, okay, we have the blueprint. We know what we need to do, and now we got to get back at it. Because, again, Baltimore's not going anywhere. Cleveland, we don't know. Okay, I'm about to say this, but the Steelers, we don't know if they're going to be in rebuilding mode.
Rebuild? No, it's a rebuild.
Okay, so he said it. I didn't
you
say
just
that.
need a quarterback. That's it.
Have you seen teams that have lost their franchise guy and
Yeah.
how long it took to come? We're not all Green Bay now.
So now that we're on that subject, let's say that the Bengals are going to come in strong. Here's the thing. It's David and Goliath. If you're going to be David, here's the thing. Joe Mixon, be more consistent on your run game. Get in there. Establish that run. Run it. Wear them down. And Chris has said it. You said it yourself, Driston. You've got your tight end, C.J. Uzuma. That's how you say his name, right? Uzuma? Uzama. I never can say his name right. But look, you've got him, Boyd. Get Boyd more involved. Higgins, because like you said it yourself, you guys are going to have to cover Jamar Chase. Chase is going to be the primary factor. Mm-hmm. So if they can take the blueprint that the Bills played against you guys on the offense, throwing the ball, you can use that. But one thing that the Bills did not do good was running the ball. They didn't do a good job running the ball. So it gave all that space, and especially if you're gonna try to beat the Chiefs, 19 points is not going to cut it.
Yeah.
So now the moment of truth for this. We know already where we're going here. So tell me who you think is going to win and why.
I'm the neutral party here because my team is out. I hate to say it, I'm a huge Joe Burrow fan, jackpot Joey, but the Chiefs, they have the coaching, they have the offense, they have the defense. They're hitting on all cylinders, and most importantly, they have the experience and they're at home. Sorry, Chris with the K. I got to go with the Chiefs on this one.
Hey, I totally understand.
Go ahead, Chris.
Well, I know I think that the Chiefs are already favored by 7. So, I mean, that's a pretty big spread. And that's definitely where the head goes especially with the way the offense has been playing. But I'm kind of a homer for my Bengals, so I'm going to go with my underdog Tigers to silence them Chiefs.
Driston?
Yeah, and of course I'm going for the Chiefs. I see it once again, though. I can see sort of another Bills-Chiefs game playing out. I think it'll be a shootout because although our defense is pretty good, Bengals have phenomenal offense, so maybe by a field goal, maybe like last game, except we come out as the victor this time.
All right, so last time I was in this seat, I called it that the Bengals were going to make a field goal and win. So now I have to go here. So, this is tough because the thing is that, you know, I'm a Broncos fan, and I have to sit here and watch my team suck and everybody do well. Now, I cannot go against the Arrowhead Magic. It's just the Arrowhead Magic. My heart goes out for the Bengals. I hope you guys do, because you have not been to a Super Bowl since 1988. So that'd be awesome to see somebody new in so long. But, man, Mahomes, Kelsey, Hill. I mean, what's his Pringle.
Oh, Pringle's
And
really stepped
then,
up this
Nico
year.
Hardman. Everyone's going. I mean, the heart is heavy going there. And so I wonder if I root for the Chiefs, will it be different? Because every time I've gone opposite, they lose. I mean, kind of sort of here and there. But if I was a betting man and I had to put it all on the line, I'd have to go for the Chiefs. It's just the experience is there. But if the Bengals win, and I'm going to call it out, if the Bengals do win, it's because you guys will fail defensively against that offense. So,
Hey, Chris, any given Sunday.
That's
any
right.
given Sunday. All right, so let's go ahead and give a quick pause and say thank you to our following sponsors, and we will talk about the NFC side.
Since 1990, Wichita's own Superstar Sports has everything for the fans' needs, whereas for NBA, NFL, MLB, NHL, or either college. So please check them out at either the Town West Mall in Wichita, Kansas, or the Town East Mall, Wichita, Kansas, whereas Superstar Sports, where every fan is welcome.
Right, so the NFC conference is going to be in Los Angeles, where they will host the Super Bowl this year. We have both in the NFC West. We have the NFC West Champions, the Los Angeles Rams, going against the underdog of the San Francisco 49ers. Dristan, I'm going to start this off with you. The Rams beat the Super Bowl champions. I know you're happy inside because you don't have to deal with the Bucks, if that's the case. But there's a new menace in the NFC, and that is the Rams. So let's go ahead and break down real quick. Let's start off with the San Francisco 49ers. What a great run they had. They beat the Dallas Cowboys, America's team. There was a lot of complaining. You know, we know the Cowboy fans. We know how they are.
We know how they
We
are.
know how you guys are. It's not a front. We know you guys, the conspiracy, thinking, no, we got juked because of the referee got in the way. We did this and that. But we all know, come on, Dak. That's why they pay you $75 million to be the quarterback that you needed to be. You let San Francisco go in your house. They went in there. They played determined. But they went into Lambeau and took care of business. Now, that was a darn good game against the Packers. Eric, by the way, the other Eric, he's a big Packers fan. I know he was a little upset. But let's go ahead. Let's start it off, Tristan. Where do you see the 49ers doing if they're going to go ahead and beat the Rams?
If they're going to beat the Rams, Jimmy G has to step up. Of course, play better. I feel like they need to establish a good run game. You know, shoot the clock out. And, of course, they have a good run game with Mitchell. And then Debo, he's dual threat. He's receiver. He's running back. Debo can do it all. But it will be difficult. So I feel like their defense is going to need to step up, figure out how to stop Cooper Kupp, Odell Beckham Jr., Van Jefferson, and Matthew Stafford. And, yeah, I think it mainly relies on if they can run effectively or not. And I guess also pass. I don't have a lot of faith in Garoppolo, especially against, a Jalen Ramsey back there. And then they have a phenomenal defense. So it's going to be difficult for the 49ers. I honestly didn't think they were even going to make it past wild card. So good for them, man, that they've made it this far. It's really
True.
Yeah, they've done really great.
Chris?
Well, Kyle Shanahan has beat Sean McVay 6 times in a row now. So even though at least the last 2 times, I would say McVay definitely had the better team with Stafford and the defense that they have in L.A. So that makes me question, even though I think that the L.A. is a better team, I mean, they have home field advantage for a reason at this point. It's tough because it's a divisional game, and you never know. Just because a team has a better record than the other team when it comes to divisional games, that crap don't matter. It doesn't matter if it's a 1-12 and against 12-1. It's still going to be. They know each other well. They're going to be giving it everything they've got. So, yeah, it's going to be tough. I mean, San Francisco looks good, but LA looks. I don't know.
So,
I'm still thinking. I'm still chewing on it.
So for me, obviously that was a great game for San Francisco. The special teams came up big, right? That block punt.
Oh yeah.
Nobody knew where the ball was. I've never seen a blocked punt, and everybody's standing there looking at the ball on the ground. Amazing. I think Jimmy Garoppolo has to play the best game he's ever played in his career.
Mm-hmm.
Plain and simple. To be worth his $100 and something million, he has to play a lights out game. He can't turn the ball over. That blitz will be there. Von Miller, Aaron Donald, Jalen Ramsey and company will be there. So he has to make the right passes under pressure because the pressure will be there, and he has to prove that he's the guy.
But his defense, because I would have said the same thing last week against Aaron Rodgers, but that defense gives him a chance to play like crap
Right.
and still win.
Right.
Mhm.
And so also Debo Samuel has to, again, have another huge game. There was a point in that game against Green Bay where I thought Debo Samuel was the only player on the 49ers that wanted to win that game. He took the game over.
The guy's got heart.
He
He's
has
got heart.
huge heart. He was hurt and everything and still came out there and did it. So he has to have a big game. George Kittle cannot have drops. He can't have wide open drops. I believe in my heart. He dropped a touchdown pass up the seam. He was wide open.
I would think that his hands will be a little bit steadier in the
Inside-
regular temperature.
Inside it, yeah. But sometimes
A little stiffer, not quite as much tackiness in the cold temperature.
But sometimes the moment's too big.
That's true.
And so hopefully he's learned from that. And shout out to Coach 30 out there. People who know the moment's too big. I'm not a real athlete. I'm shaking in my boots. Shout out to Coach 30. But I think the 49ers have to play a perfect game because the Rams are stacked.
Yeah.
All right, 49er fans, let me give you a shout out real quick. So here's the thing, you guys. Okay, all right. You guys faced a lot of adversity. It's true. I'm looking at the paper, and it states right there, you guys were not even projected to be in the playoffs. I thought that was going to be the Vikings or someone in there, But they played with heart going forward, and Debo Samuel has helped them in so many ways. Garoppolo, when he was being benched, kind of came back. He changed a little bit. He became more of the true game manager and just following what Kyle Shanahan's telling him to do. And then established running back of Mitchell going in. Now you've got another weapon in Brandon Ayuk. So, he's been inconsistent. He's there. He's there. A little here, a little there. Now, George Kittle, he's got to get it together. Jimmy G is going to be counting on him. He's going to be a major factor in this game if they're going to do anything. Defensively, that front line, they look much better than that Super Bowl that played against you guys, Kansas City. Mm-hmm. This front line, especially with Boza, the way he was lining up, I thought, it's like, what's this guy doing?
Hey,
what is he going to do?
He's an animal.
That jump off he has, you could tell Aaron Rodgers, like, oh, crap, here he comes again. I mean, Aaron Rodgers was struggling. He was struggling. Now, what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to switch it now on over to the Los Angeles Rams. Now, this is the team that was just wild card for a while. We sat and watched Arizona. They were just sitting there on top of it, going to be the NFC West, and they let it go. They let it off the hook. And you just gave it to the L.A. Rams. And then with the addition of Odell Beckham, that helped. Von Miller coming in. So they had a lot of pieces go in. And then the biggest talk was Jared Goff going to Detroit, then bringing in Matthew Stafford.
They won that trade.
So here we're at. So we are here now with the Rams. So let's go ahead. I'm going to start this off with you, Chris. What does the Rams have, and what will they need to beat San Francisco?
I think Cooper Kupp won that trade, really.
Yeah.
Like him specifically.
1,947 yards.
Oh, my goodness. And, just lit up the Tampa Bay there at the end of the game, too. Yeah. So what do they have to do? They just have to play the game that they can play and not get I it's almost like that head game type deal. Like, oh no, here we go again with the Niners. He got us figured out again type of deal. I don't know. I mean, they've got so many. Cooper Kupp is just a beast, and the run. Sony Michel's doing pretty well in the run game. Matt Stafford needs to just stay calm and play his game and not try to do too much, not have flashbacks to Detroit. Just to be like, oh yeah, I'm in sunny LA. Let's be happy and things are good. So I think that, and then that defensive line needs to really step up. Jalen Ramsey really needs to step up. He kind of got torched a little bit in Tampa Bay. I'm sure that he has been watching that video ever since, and especially that one with Mike Evans, just because he switched, like, was it 2 plays before that? Mike Evans burnt whoever he was defending. And Ramsey was like, no, and started following him then on the field, and then 2 plays later gets torched for long bomb touchdown, which, I mean, he didn't get torched. I shouldn't say torched. I mean, he was a foot away from it.
He got sauteed pretty much.
I mean, it was just a perfectly done pass. But they held on. I really thought Brady was gonna pull his magic and come back, have another story of down 27-3 and came back in the divisional game. But so keeps it interesting here. We've got all the kind of most of the older guys out. I mean, I guess Jimmy G's one of the older now. Matt Stafford he's been around for a while, but he's in a new place, so maybe he's a rookie retread type of deal.
Maybe.
So I really think the Rams just need to play their game, and that's, I mean, that'll get it done because they're a good team.
All right, who you got on this one?
So for the Rams, the defense has to set the tone. Aaron Donald needs to have a good game. Von Miller needs to be running loose. Jalen Ramsey needs to be a lockdown guy. Jalen Ramsey has to – I don't know if he's going to match up on Debo or who he's going to match up on, but he has to have a good game. They have to turn the ball over. They have to make Jimmy G be who we've seen him at his low points and turn the ball over. For the offense, they need to establish the run. They need to convert on third down. They have to score points and play a complete game. The Rams did not play a complete game the last game. They almost let Tom Brady have another legendary story to tell along his roster. Cooper Kupp has to get loose, and Matt Stafford, this is probably the biggest game of his career. I said, check the tapes. I said this is his last ride, his last chance. He's taking full advantage of it. Sean McVay believes in him, but he has to show the people that he's not going to turn the ball over. He can't have one of those bad picks, those overthrows that he had in Detroit. He has to be able to be trusted with the ball, and he has to deliver it. And, he just has to do what everybody thought he could do when he was coming out of Georgia and be that guy.
Well put, Eric. I'm glad you're back. That's just awesome. Well put. Then let me go ahead and let's put some seasoning on that. Here's the thing with the defense side of the Rams. What an awesome addition of Von Miller. The guy, he came from Denver. Thank you for being that Super Bowl MVP. That pass rush he has is a menace. And the thing is this is perfect for him. I wouldn't say for a Super Bowl, if they do go against the Chiefs, I wouldn't say that would necessarily work. But for Jimmy G, that'll work because he's not that kind of mobile quarterback. And the thing is with Darnold, the way he was just going up the middle, and then especially with now them adding Eric Weddle. Eric Weddle, he's wild. He's the half version of Palomalu. And Eric Weddle's a good player.
Did you see that hit that he laid on? I think it was Evans that he hit.
Yeah, he.
Because that's the only receiver that Tampa Bay has.
Right.
But it was like, you haven't played in a couple of years, friend. You're not allowed to do that anymore.
It's the concussions, probably.
That was
because
the AFC
when he
North
was
coming with him.
Yeah.
Well, even before that, when he was with back when they were the San Diego Chargers, I mean, that's what he did. When he came up the middle, boy, wow.
So I said, it's new times, new days.
Right. Now, here's the thing. Offensively, Jefferson. I'd like to see Jefferson help out, especially if Cooper Kupp is going to get guarded. Let Tyler Higbee kind of get in the mix as well. Tyler Higbee had a great game in Tampa. That was, he great tight end, great blocks, good catches when they needed most, and also Odell Beckham. That's why you got him. That's why you got him.
He's been stepping up, though.
Do you not think for 1 second he's like, I am like literally 4 quarters away and going to a Super Bowl.
But what have you noticed, though, Carlos? He's very quiet. right? He's not outspoken like he was in New York. He's not outspoken like he was in Cleveland. He's very quiet.
He got a haircut too. Did you notice that? Did you notice that? Did you catch that? And guess what?
Well,
His dad's not making
His
comments.
dad's happy. He's
Thank goodness.
He's getting the ball.
Grown man, and this guy still needs his dad. But anyways, now the moment of truth. The moment of truth. Dristan, I'm gonna start this off with you. Who are you taking and why?
I'm taking the Rams. I think they got a stacked team this year. Aaron Donald and Von Miller both lead in pressures this postseason, and all they need to do is get pressure on Jimmy G, and I feel like that's going to be really put a toll on him and his offense. And, of course, that Rams offense is ridiculous. So, man, I got high hopes for the Rams. I really want to see a Rams-Chiefs Super Bowl.
All right. Chris?
I agree with those reasons. I'm still a little back and forth here. I think the Rams are going to do this. I think that basically the Niners have been in playoff mode for like 6 weeks. They've 2 weeks of the playoffs here, and then for like the last month of the season, they were basically win or go home. Like, you got to win because you're behind the wild card. You're in the wild card hunt. So I think that's put a big toll. Big hard fought game up in Green Bay. So I think that's going to be a little bit, and I think Sean McVay is finally going to get over this hump of beating Kyle Shanahan, and it's going to come at the right time. And that defense, like Tristan was saying, Von Miller, I wasn't sure at the time of the trade. I mean, Von Miller's a great player. He's going to make any team better. But you never know a big player like that coming in mid-season. And it did take him a couple weeks.
It did.
But once they really started to gel, and it's really come on the last 3 to 4 weeks, that line started to really gel. I mean, they're scary. So
they are indeed.
I think because of just the drain of the pressure that San Fran's been under for the last 4 to 6 weeks, and then combined with the defense coming together in the Rams, I think that's going to be a little too much for them.
Yeah,
so I'm going Rams.
Chris, that's a good point. That's exhausting. It does take a lot.
Every game.
I think the Rams are going to win the game. Being from Missouri, this is a throwback to the Governor's Cup. When it was St. Louis and Kansas City. I think it's going to be a Governor's Cup Super Bowl. Being from St. Louis and not being a Kroenke fan, the owner of the Rams, I want the Chiefs to win that just so he can go home and be like, the reason we won is because I moved the team to L.A. That's my own personal thing. But the Rams do have a better team. I think if they come out and do what they need to do, I think they have more firepower than the 49ers have. And as long as Matthew Stafford does what he needs to do and Aaron Donald and company and Von Miller can do what they need to do, they should win this game relatively easier than it looks.
When I just look at when I take the roster and I have it right in front of my face and I'm just looking and just look at the stats, especially adding, like we said, Odell Beckham. You add him. Cooper Kupp is having a great season. And then also Jefferson has made contributing points here and there. Higbee. And now you got Sonny Michel and Cam Akers. Now, Cam Akers, stop fumbling the ball. Stop fumbling the ball. But here's the thing. Matthew Stafford, you got to give the guy credit. When he was in Detroit, he had, Megatron. Calvin Johnson. He had the team but could never get over the hump. And Matthew Stafford, we thought, man, he's going to be gone. He's going to be gone. And then this trade came a blessing in disguise. Sean McVay trusts in him. He trusts, hey, he's not doing too much. He's a good game manager. Now, the thing that scares me a little bit is if he has games like they did on that Sunday night against Tennessee when they got to him and he didn't know what to do. Then when they lost to Seattle, because Seattle had that little spark at the end. They finally, the Seattle's not going anywhere. That
was a divisional game too,
right?
But
anyways, let's just leave them in Seattle. Let's sleepless in Seattle mode over there. Here's the thing: the Rams are going to win because they're going to go in because they want to host that Super Bowl.
Yep.
And here's the thing: history is helping them out. If Tampa Bay did it last year, they could probably do it this year. And the thing is, they have all the key components to go in. Now, I was going to do a jump up on a Super Bowl, but I'm going to wait. Let's just keep it AFC, NFC championship. Let's just leave it at that for now. We probably all agree we believe is Rams and Chiefs, except the Heart Bengals. But okay. We're not going to jump yet. So for now, we're going to leave that as it is. So to the audience and viewers, tell us what you think. Write down. Tell us who you think is going to win and why. We'd like to hear from you guys. We also want to address that we do have some upcoming shows. We've got Eric's Fly Fishing Adventures coming up. Finally, we got that show up and going. The Cutting Crew's coming back as well. We're going to do a recap of 2021. We're also got Wichita Vice. That's coming in. We are doing, I believe, is the Flash is going to be our hero. We got the Flash and the villain. What was his name? Godspeed, right?
Godspeed, and we're doing some Captain America and Red Skull.
So, yes, for Captain America, we're going to do that Silver Cosmo movie reviews.
Oh. Okay.
We're going to do that. And then we will have a new show as well. We have 2 new shows. We're just 2022 has been awesome. We have the first wrestling show. So if you're into wrestling, if you're that guy that likes that man soap opera, we have a show called Pat and Lowe's Backstage Heat. I think episode 1, we're going to talk about the legendary Ric Flair.
Woo!
Yes, we're going to talk about Ric Flair. And then for all our gym buddies, all the nutritionists, everyone that's into fitness, we have a new show called Packs and Stacks. So tune in to us. We're going to talk about everything from workouts. We're going to talk about nutrition, like I said. We're going to talk supplements. We're going to talk about everything. Anything that's got to do in the fitness world, we're going to bring that on in. So before we go, you guys, can we get a final shout out? I'm going to start this off with you, Tristan.
Shout out to my girlfriend once again. I think I have to say this every week because she's a Niners fan. And every week I'm like, bro, Niners, they're not going to win. They're not going to win. They're not going to win. Look, here we are. They're one game away from another Super Bowl. I don't think it's going to happen. So we'll see if next week or the week
we can't edit that, by the way.
Yeah. So
she's going to hear that.
Yeah. Shout out to her, man.
This guy.
I could just shout out to all my Cincy family and friends back home. Big shout out to Houday. It's been a good year. Started it off with a Final Four with the Bearcats getting hurt by Alabama, but this is a different game in the NFL. Talent's a little more equalized than the college.
I'm going to give a shout out to all my people in the armed forces. If you look around the world, things are kind of getting crazy. Take care of your people. If you see something, say something. Love you guys. Keep protecting this country so we can do things like this podcast and talk about what we love.
First and foremost, I want to say thank you to God. Without God, none of this would be possible. So thank you. I appreciate everything you do for us. I'm going to start this off, especially the people here at Driston. I want to say thank you for taking the time. I appreciate, you coming in on a busy schedule and being with the show with me. So I appreciate growing with you, man.
I love it.
I still won't be a Chiefs fan, but somewhere in my heart, I got you. I'm going to get you one day. We're going to get there. Chris, of course, man, many years. We've gotten to know each other. You've been there for me in my darkest times, and I words cannot express enough how thankful I am to have you in my life. I'm a root for you guys. My heart's there for you, but my wallet is rooting for the Chiefs. So how that's a split thing. And of course, Eric and the gang. Eric, thank you for the things that you do, and also to my nephew Powell, thank you so much for making those designs, those edits. That's just phenomenal work you do. And last but not least, my boy Eric. Eric, number 1. I don't know who's going to be number 1, number 2, but I'll give you number 1.
I'm number 1 because I'm the mano champ.
Oh, yes. See, the arrogance comes back. I love that. But Eric, hey, man, I think everything you do, keep it going. I believe in the goals that you're about to do. Watch out. This is going to be the next Michael J. White stunt double. Watch out. He might be a B-rated movie, but he's going to be there, though.
We'll see.
His name's going to be kind of like in the credits. It's going to be like real thin, but he's going to get his shot. But also, shout out to the friends and family. I'm looking forward to this weekend on the games. So the next episode we will do a Super Bowl edition. So we will do something different. We are going to be Facebook Live. We're also going to do we're going to do a giveaway. So if the Chiefs end up winning, we're going to have some Chiefs stuff to give away. If the Bengals win, they go in, we'll do that. And then if the Rams, 49ers, we'll do it. So if that's your team, tune on in because we're going to give in some free stuff. So other than that, thank you so much, you guys, for tuning in, and we look forward in seeing the next special edition for the Super Bowl weekend of Sports Fellas.